just think it's a nice product. But you definitely don't need it. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you some new makeup that I've been testing out recently. And I'd say the main feature of the video is going to be this from Tarte. This is the CC Tinted Serum. So this is a white serum which claims to adapt to your skin tone. So today I'm going to be sharing my honest thoughts on this and some other bits and telling you whether I really think they're worth your money. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. So I've already done my eyes and my eyebrows, but I have nothing else on my complexion apart from moisturizer and also an SPF. I picked up this from Rhode. This is the Rhode Highlight Milk. So this is basically, I would describe this as a glow booster. And I'm not going to use it on my complexion today because, as I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about this and we're going to be reviewing this. And this will definitely affect the finish of this. So I'm going to insert some B-roll of me applying this, but I'll show it you on the body because this is definitely, I would say, a multi-purpose product. And honestly, I've been preferring it more on the body than the face, which is weird. I didn't think that would happen. So this Rhode Highlight Milk retails for around about €37, and for that you get 65ml of product. So this claims to be a hybrid luminizer that enhances bare skin and makeup with a shimmery, naturally radiant finish made with Rhode's signature glazing milk formula. So there are 4 shades to choose from, and I picked up the shade 02. I am showing you now some footage of me applying this. I really enjoy the original glazing milk. I think it's beautiful. I find it really absorbs super quick into my skin and makes my skin feel really plump and hydrated. I guess I do get the same feeling from this product. It leaves me with a really nice sheen to the skin, and it's great under more kind of natural or matte leaning foundations. And you'll see that it does have a lot of reflection to it, so it can look a little bit robotic. That's how I like to term it. And there is a lot of glitter in it. It doesn't look like that from a distance, but when you see your hand or you see your face under the lights, there is quite a bit of really tiny specks of glitter in there. So just be aware of it. I like it on the face. I think it's nice. I don't think it's groundbreaking. I don't think it's nothing we haven't seen before. So do I think you need to run out and purchase it? Not really. Do I think it's really nice on the body? Yeah, I actually do. So let me show you. Now you need to be careful with this. So it does have a colour to it. I went to a wedding and I had a dress where my shoulders were exposed, and so I used this on my body for that wedding, and it just gave me a really kind of natural glow. Let me get my hair out of the way. It's very subtle, but like I said, you have to be careful because it does have a colour to it. So it's going to transfer onto your clothes if you're not careful. So just be careful with it. Let it dry down, and it does dry down. It's not tacky. It's not sticky. I don't know if you can see. It's very, very subtle. I don't know. I think I just expected maybe a little bit more from it. It's fragrance free, by the way. It's very subtle. If you're a big Glow Booster fan, knock your socks off. I just think it's a nice product, but you definitely don't need it. Let's move on to the Tarte CC Tinted Serum. Now this retails for €40, which seems like it's quite expensive, but you do actually get 55ml of product in here, so that is quite a lot. It's almost double what we usually get with the 30ml, so I think that's really, really nice. When I was purchasing this, I didn't really know what I was purchasing because Tarte say that this is not a foundation, it's not a skin tint, it's a next-gen colour-correcting tinted serum. So this claims to be a lightweight skincare-infused serum with a natural finish and 16 hours of wear. It's powered by encapsulated pigments that adapt as you blend, and each shade flexes across a range of skin tones. So there are 6 shades to choose from, and I went for the shade medium, which is the second lightest. It has a smart clay complex, which helps to smooth, even and blur with plumping peptide, niacinamide, caffeine, and yeah, lots of nice ingredients in there. I did check through the ingredients, and it's alcohol-free, fragrance and essential oil-free. It comes out white like this, and if you look really closely, you can actually see the pigments in there, so it looks like it's got speckles throughout it. Those little pigments, I think that's what you can see, the encapsulated pigments, they will burst upon application and will adapt to your skin. I've tried it in all different types of ways, with a brush, with my fingers, and I hate applying makeup with my fingers, but I'm going to say that that is actually the best way to apply this. So I'm just going to pop it here, and there you can see it's white, and we're just going to massage it into the skin. And you can see there, you can see it starting to adapt, but it needs to be massaged in to break down those pigments. It would actually be really interesting to try this when my skin is particularly red. Now, I usually do concealer before I do any kind of skin tint foundation, but I didn't want to affect the finish of this tint or whatever it is, this serum. I wanted you to just see it on its own on my skin, and it does feel quite tacky, but I'm going to tell you that it definitely does dry down. It definitely does. So that's with there, and that's without. It does just look like my skin, doesn't it? I know that they're saying that it's not a skin tint. I feel like it is. I feel like it is a skin tint, and it definitely gives super light coverage. Now, this is all my melasma up here, my hyperpigmentation. I had hoped that it would kind of adapt to that and cover it, but it doesn't really. It's just like any tint or foundation, doesn't fully cover it. It does say online that you can use this on its own, but you can also use this under your normal foundation. Okay, so that's that side done. And that's with nothing. Now, when I'm looking at it in the monitor here, the shade looks totally fine. However, I have to be honest with you, there have been days, well, every time I've worn this actually, I have honestly felt like I can see a bit of a white cast across my skin. And I'm not sure whether this shade is just too light for me. I don't know. I know that you're going to say it looks perfect, and it definitely does on camera for sure. But when I can see myself out in the daylight, I can't help but feel that it's a bit white casty on my skin, but I actually don't know whether that's in my head, because I know that it's a white formula. Maybe it is. I'm going to tell you what the key to this foundation is. It's to use a little bit. I think the minute you start going in really heavy-handed is the minute that it's going to look white casty and heavy. And when I look back to those days where I felt like it looked like a white cast, I did probably apply too much. Now, I'm going to say that the finish is dewy. I don't particularly like the feeling of this on my skin, because it starts off tacky. It takes a while to dry down, but it definitely does. I can promise you that it definitely does dry down. So just to take a good look at the base, my skin is looking very glassy, very dewy. It is looking very plump and healthy. I'll give it that for sure. I do think it feels tacky, and I'd say it takes, I'd say within an hour, it definitely dries down, and my skin does enjoy this. It does like this, because I can feel it absorbing some of those lovely ingredients that are in here. I think all in all, the shade does adapt. I think it's very clever. I think it's innovative. Part of me does wonder what the point is. I think I would rather just have my shade. Now, I have tried this with powder, and it works really well with powder. But I feel like it does emphasize my pores. Apart from that, it just feels like skincare. It just feels like a lovely skin product that has evened out my skin tone, given me some coverage. I'd say a very, maybe a highlight coverage. If you suffer with redness on your cheeks, if you don't like to wear a lot of makeup, you just want to put a little bit on during the day, I think you'll like this. Is it my favorite? No. Am I still getting to know it? Yeah. And one thing in my testing that I was really looking out for was the longevity of this. I've been really, really shocked that at the end of a day, it will still be there. So yeah, it definitely lasts. And obviously, if you have dry skin like me, this product is going to really appeal to you. if you have oilier skin, I'm not sure you would like the feel of this. Before we move on to the bronzer, I'm just going to pop some concealer on. So I did pick up the new Rhode Pocket Bronze, and this retails for €33, and for that you get 5.3 grams of product. I picked up the shade Sip, which is a light to medium shade, and this claims to give hydrating, buildable colour that blends seamlessly and stays all day. So these pocket bronze and blushes, they are teeny tiny. Do you know what I like? I like that it has different packaging to the blush, because now I can identify them separately without wondering what is what. So I did do a little comparison with some of my other bronzers for you. So at the top there you have the new Rhode in the shade Sip. Next one down you have the Mario Skin Enhancer in the shade Light Medium. Next one down you have the Dior Skin Bronze in the shade 3. Next, we have the Fenty Sunstalker Souffle Cream Bronzer, the newer one in the shade Churro Twist. And lastly, we have the Refi Water Bronzer in the shade Bay. Just, that might help you a little bit in choosing your shade. So, twist up applicator. Now, I do feel like you can go in on the face with this, but my preferred way to apply this is with a brush. Pop my brush onto it and then apply it that way, but I'll maybe show you both ways. I don't feel like this will interfere with your makeup when you apply it directly on. I've never thought that with the Rhode Pocket products. But yeah, we'll go in with this first. So this is the Anti-Hot and Flashy A507 brush. We'll start over here and just start tapping. This claims to be really smoothing, and that, if I was to actually describe this in any way, it's definitely smoothing. I love the look of this on my skin, and I find this to be a very natural finish, which is funny because I expected it to be more satin leaning and more glowy, because with the pocket blush I don't find it glowy, but I find it quite satin, and I thought that it would have a similar finish, but this is definitely more natural, which actually I really appreciate when it comes to bronzers. You see how natural that is? It's really, really, really pretty. So here we're going to go directly on the face. I think this is going to come across more glowy today because obviously I've got this glowy Tarte CC Serum on. So it's going to look a little bit glowier than what it is. This is an extremely buttery consistency, very creamy, so user-friendly, so user-friendly. I'm just going to add a bit more by tapping onto the product. I definitely prefer to apply from the brush rather than directly on the skin, but it doesn't lift my base products no matter what I've tried it with. I think I was worried that it would be a little bit too warm, this shade, but it's not. Obviously it's more warm leaning than neutral, but actually it's really lovely. Like with the Rhode Pocket Blush, I've really enjoyed using this. I think it's really nice. Now, I know that the questions are going to come about the longevity of this. I've been really, really trying to test it because I've had a lot of comments when I spoke about this being released saying that they tried it and it just didn't last on them. But people said that about the Rhode Pocket Blush. I've not had that experience. I don't think it's the most long-lasting bronzer in the whole world. I know that some people have said that this has completely disappeared on their skin. I've not had that experience at all. This will last all day for me. Is it because I have drier skin? Maybe. I had great success with the Pocket Blush and it lasted all day on me. So yeah, I can't criticize it or question the longevity of it at all. I'm actually going to say that I really do enjoy this bronzer. Is it anything innovative? No. Is it anything different to what we've seen before? Not really. So if you have every single bronzer on the planet, okay, if you buy bronzers regularly, I don't think this is something that's going to add anything different to your collection. I enjoy it, but is it anything different to what we've seen before? No, but if you are a bronzer enthusiast, I think you would really like it. And personally on me, it lasts really well. I like it. I do. I like it. Right, this next product I picked up on a whim, and it's probably my favorite product from this whole video. So this is a new product from Kosas. This is the Impressionist Multi Stick. So it's a cheek and a lip color, a cream cheek and lip colour. This retails for around €37, and for that you get 5.5 grams of product. It comes in 7 shades, and I picked up the shade Nuance, and honestly, this was a shade that was different to anything I've tried before, and because of that I struggled to find anything in my drawer to compare it to. So I'm really sorry, these comparison swatches are not going to be very useful, but I did them anyway. So at the top you've got Kosas in the shade Nuance. The second one down is Rhode in the shade Tan Line. Next one is Morphe in the shade After Party. That's the cream blush trios. And at the bottom there is Patrick Tar in the shade Not Too Much. It was really difficult for me to find anything in my drawer that was similar to this. This is quite deep and, you know, very beige. So although this is outside of my comfort zone, I am going to tell you that I've absolutely fallen for this product. This is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm applying it with my BK Beauty 109 brush. Now this is quite pigmented, but it's very easy to sheer out. So this claims to give a natural looking blurred finish to the skin, and I've been really trying to figure out what I think about the finish of this. I feel as though it's definitely not dewy on my skin. It's going to look dewy again today because of the base product. But I feel as though this is very, I'd say it's a satin on me, maybe satin leaning natural depending on my base product. I really had no expectations in regards to this, but it's stunning. And do you know what the best thing about this blush is? There's two things. Number one, the longevity of this. So I purchased this when I was over in England, and we did a trip to the beach, and I wore this during the day to the beach. Now it wasn't a hot day, so it was kind of windy, you know, I was kind of windswept that day. And this blush looked exactly the same when I got home from the beach that it did when I put it on that morning. And I was really shocked. And this has the performance of a powder blush in my opinion. This shade is not as scary as what you think. I think that this is a blush that would honestly suit so many different skin types, whether you are dry, combo, oily. I think you would love this. I am such a huge fan of this. I think it's just gorgeous. It really is. And it's creamy, but it's not too creamy, if that makes sense. And the second thing I wanted to say to you about this is that I have actually been using this genuinely as a lip product. Very unusual for me. This is an amazing lip product. So let me show you on the lips. So I like to apply it and then kind of sheer it out. Now I'm not keeping this on my lips because I have another lip product to show you, and it feels so comfortable. It feels like a lightweight lipstick, and usually blushes, because they are blushes, they feel alien on my lips. This feels normal. When I was in England, I would just take this out with me and I would use it as my lipstick. Yeah. How gorgeous is that? It's definitely multi-use. It lasts so well on the lips as well. This is a gorgeous multi-use product, and I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Out of everything from this video, this Kosas Multi Stick is the winner. It really is. It's gorgeous. There's nothing negative that I can say about it at all. Love it. So finally, I'm just going to share my thoughts on this product. This is from Rare Beauty. This is the Soft Pinch Lip Oil Stick. This retails for €26. For that, you get 3.4 grams of product. I picked up the shade Dream. I will say that the shades were an issue for me. There was nothing there that I really liked. Dream was the closest, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really love it. No, the reason that I don't like it is I think that it's just a little bit too mauvey for me, a little bit too purpley leaning. And in fact, and this is a product I spoke about recently, it is almost an identical shade match to Is It Fussy in the Fenty Gloss Bomb Sticks. It smells better than those, but it is an almost identical shade match. So at the top, you've got the new Rare Beauty in the shade Dream, and at the bottom there you've got the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Stick in the shade Is It Fussy. So if you have Is It Fussy already, you don't need this. You don't need this at all. Now, this shade doesn't go with the rest of my makeup because I feel like my face, especially because of the bronzer, is looking quite warm, and this is a very cool toned product on my lips. People have been asking me how they compare to a few other lip oil balms that I've tried recently. So we've got these from ABH, Anastasia Beverly Hills, which are the Kiss Theory lip balms. And then we've got these from Morphe. These are the Lip Lock lipsticks. So I'd say out of all three of these, the most traditional oily feeling lip product is the one from Rare Beauty. It feels like a genuine lip oil. So it's very slippery, very silky in texture. And do you know what? It's really nice. And it leaves behind a stain. I don't know whether it's supposed to leave behind a stain, but it does, on my lips anyway. So once it's faded, I can still see it left behind. The fragrance is a little bit off-putting. It's fruity. That is quite fruity. You know, think NYX. It smells like NYX products. Yeah, they're not my favorite smelling. It kind of smells like those. Then you've got the ABH Kiss Theory lip balms. They are very balmy, so very thick, very substantial feeling on the lips. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, but very, very, very balmy rather than oily. And then you've got the Morphe lip lock. These are very lightweight, and they are kind of a combination of the two, I would say. Honestly, my favorite out of these three products would probably be the Morphe. They last for ages. They're very lightweight in texture. They feel beautiful. And I think the other reason that I prefer the Morphe as well is that you get lots of product in it. So you get 4 grams with the Morphe. You get 3.4 grams with the Rare Beauty, and you only get 1 gram with the ABH. So yeah, we've talked about value for money. You know, the Rare Beauty or the Morphe are better. And yeah, if that's important to you, you're going to probably want to avoid the ABH. I could do without the Rare Beauty. I can't see myself using this. So I like the staying power of it. I like how comfortable and silky it feels. I like that it leaves a little bit of a tint behind. And I like the packaging, actually. It has accessible packaging, which I really appreciate from Rare Beauty. Do you need it? No, especially if you have these, if you have any lip oil that you've, you know, from late. I don't think you need them. So that is the finished look with all of these new makeup products. I'm refusing to use powder for this review. But I can't go out without powder on with this because I just feel like I'm too reflective, too shiny. And I know that it does look healthy, but there's a fine line between healthy and looking a little bit greasy. Do you know what I mean? Look, I think the theme of today is that you don't really need any of these products. I think the only thing that has really overly excited me today is the Kosas, and not just today, recently, because I've tested all these thoroughly. The Kosas is really good, and I love that it's multi-use. I think that's fantastic. I just love that about it. If you were going to pick anything from this video, I would say the Kosas is 100% the standout. It's absolutely beautiful, and so much so that I want to purchase more shades, whereas I don't feel the same with any of the other products. So do let me know, have you tried any of these products? Do any of them catch your eye, or are you running for the hills? Let me know everything down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.